You're listening to the International Souls Podcast, solo sessions with me, Eryck. These episodes are where I share my experiences in my careers, traveling, fatherhood, coaching, and everything in between. The real story is about living with intention, moving with purpose, and staying open to what's next. Here we go. Guys, welcome to the International Souls Podcast. I'm your host, Eryck. Today is a special solo session where I'll be sharing my coaching journey, all the highs, all the low, why I decided to become a coach, and why it was so important for me. A lot of doubts, a lot of mistakes, but I'm very, very happy and grateful for this career. And this is the story. Here we go. So why I started to become a coach was fully driven by intuition and purpose. It felt like a really strong calling for me. And it was just natural with all the fitness, all the workouts. Like I mentioned earlier in another episode about starting to coach other models when I was living with them as roommates. And it was just natural for me to start coaching, like to take over that leadership. And but at the beginning it was I just started to coach for free. I was not doing it in return of anything. It was just by pure love of it. I felt so good when I finished a coaching session. So when I was living in Los Angeles, that's where it really started. And I would coach other models of from my agency because I was really on my fitness, on my nutrition. And some models were not really, or some actors. I'm like, Eryck, I feel like you're really disciplined, you have a good body, how do you do it? So I just started to coach them. We would meet at the park, random park, and we would use the outside equipment, sometime at the gym and most at the parks. And I would create a circuit and coach them through it and encourage them, and we would repeat that. So I was just doing it for free. It was a great way also to connect with other people that have similar values. And from there, I started to build a bit of confidence, and to get my whole coaching aura and yeah, just like stepping into that role. And I was young. I was like around 22, 23 when I started to do this with close friends in the modeling industry. But at that time, I was still DJing. I was still like in that night life party vibe. And at one point, I had to make a decision of, okay, do I want to feed more the DJing part of me, or I want to be feeding more that healthy coaching part? The answer was quite clear. So I actually took a break of my DJing career because it was bringing more like the vice, the drinking, the late nights, sleeping very late. And I completely switched. I used to actually, in my DJ days earlier, I used to sleep at like 2, 3 a.m., 3, 4 nights a week, wake up at 10, 11 a.m. I would actually drink most of my DJ set. It was just like bad habit stacking one over the other. And I didn't feel good. I would wake up with these headaches. I was feeling very low energy. I love DJing and I still DJ. But at that time, I feel like I was maybe a little immature and didn't understand well how to be a professional DJ with like this focused mental approach. I saw like it's fun, it's cool, it's this vibe, this lifestyle, and it's creative. So I took a break from DJing, and now I reversed my whole circadian rhythm. I started to really educate myself, and I did a big shift, and that shift was really powerful. It took a few weeks to for everything to put into place, maybe even months. So I started to wake up earlier, go to sleep earlier. I started to educate myself more about how to move the body, fitness, nutrition, and eventually I felt ready, even if I wasn't quite ready, to actually start putting myself out there as an official fitness coach, even though I didn't have any certification or any clients, paid clients yet. And that was around 24 when I was living again in Los Angeles. And I remember just like, you know what, let's just start. Let's just do this. Let's go. So I started to put myself out there, do some promotion, work them out. Hey, I'm starting to coach. I'm starting to train people as a fitness trainer specifically. If you know anyone, etc., I would put myself in platforms, website, like Craigslist, even like all of that, just to like boost my visibility. And I remember, took about not too long, took about like a week. I got this lead through a website. I decided to reach out, and she's like, "Okay, well, I'm very interested in working with you. Can we do like a first trial like in 2 days?" So I told her, I'm like, wow, okay, yeah, sure. And she's like, okay, what's your price? I didn't even have a price. So I said, 60? 60? And I was like, is it a lot? I don't know. She's like, okay, sure. I'm like, okay, great. So hang up. And we were meeting in a park about 10 minutes from my home, 10 minutes from her home, halfway in. It was like a Saturday morning, meet at the park, a little like very nervous. I had a whole plan, script to her. And check this out. I was so nervous. I decided to scratch the plan. I took a app out, like I think it was like a Nike app, or anyway, like some type of fitness app. And I don't know if she even noticed, but I just pressed like hit outdoor workout. I press play, and you can actually hear like the toot 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 go. Okay, we're doing jumping jacks and 45 seconds. So she would do jumping jacks, and then I would look at my app and like, okay, next next exercise, crunches. And in 10 seconds we're gonna do crunches. And she was like, okay, crunches, what now? Crunches, good. She would do crunches, and we did that for 45 minutes. I was guiding her workout through the app. Not I didn't say anything that came from myself. We finished the session. I was embarrassed about myself, and she came and said like, that was a really fun session. So now what? How does it work? I'm like, well, I have packages. I have a 10 session package, $60 per package, $600. It's like, because I asked her how many times she want to work. It's like, oh, I can do this 3, 4 times a week. I'm like, wow, 3, 4 times a week, $60 per session at the park, great. And she just said like, so let's start with 10 session at $60. Like, yeah, great, okay. This one is number one. Okay. Tomorrow same time. Yep. She Venmo me or PayPal me $600. I went in my car and I'm like, I'm a coach. I'm a freaking coach. And that was the whole start of my coaching career. I promised myself this will never happen again, and I must come a lot more prepared. But this story is just to show you this is the type of person I am, though. Like, I'll just go, I'll just do it, and I'll figure it out as I'm doing it. I won't wait to it to be perfect because it never will be. And the best way you can actually become a best coach is to put in the reps. Okay, so there's no such thing as imposter syndrome. There's always someone who will know a lot more than you do. But it's really all about the vibe, the energy you put out there, how you listen, how you're capable of guiding, holding space, holding the vision for the other people. There's a lot of skills that come into coaching that I've learned along the way. So after that first session, first one is out of the way. It's kind of like when in my modeling story I told you in a different episode, like my first runway, I was so nervous. So that one, first client out of the way, and then the second session came the next day, and I was ready. It was a whole complete experience. Like, wow, I absolutely loved it. And we created this really strong relationship with the woman. She lost a lot of weight, gained some lean muscle mass. She was kind of going to like different, not a depression, like going to like a little low in her life. And that just brought her right back up. And I felt so good, so alive, driven like by full on purpose after each session. Like, wow, this is really it. Let's go deeper in this field. So I started to have more and more clients. I started to train other people at the parks, like at that same park. And in that 1 month space, I was probably now training about 7 people and making over probably like 1,000 to 1,500 per week of training all these people at the end of the month. I'm like, wow, this is really cool, like just empowering myself, starting this small training business. And that's how I started. And eventually I started, just like my fitness journey, started to add layers. I got this opportunity at the end of my LA chapter, probably like I would say a year from that. I really started to train more and more and more. At the end I had probably like 20 clients and getting better and better. And I received this opportunity from a good friend of mine in Montreal. He's the CEO of this company. It's a consulting firm company. And it's like, Eryck, I've been seeing you. I know he's been training and working a lot and working hard towards your coaching journey. I want to offer you the opportunity. I want you to come in Montreal, move from LA, and implement a health and wellness culture inside of the company and bring people together through movement and fitness. We just built a brand new gym, but no one is using it. It's like an empty amenity. You think you can do that? Because all the other coaches failed at doing it. I thought about it because at that time I was rolling. I had all my clients and I was living in Marina Del Rey, having a great life, like just loving it. But it felt right. That whole opportunity just felt right. It was also a great time to go back to Montreal. I was living in LA for 2 years now. Dominic and I have been doing a lot of long distance, and it was time to go back to Montreal. So I accepted the opportunity. I went back to LA. I sold everything. I said thank you. I finished all my sessions with my clients, and and then I just moved. I moved back to Montreal, and that year with that company was exponential for me. The growth. I started with it started with zero client, and I had to one prove myself with everyone, but also build a culture inside of a company, which was the culture was really nice, but the health and wellness culture was kind of non-existent. So I was there, I was wearing a suit almost every single day for the first month, connecting with the HR, the HR team, the marketing team, the operation team, the executive team, and just getting to know them and inviting them to come at the gym, inviting them, hey, during your work hours, take 45 minutes. I'm going to train you. I'm going to coach you. It's going to be great. You're going to feel really good. All of that. And one person started to come. A second person started to come. And eventually, by month, I would say 2 or 3 out of 50 people who were at the headquarters, there's like, I think there's like 200 people who work at that company internationally. The headquarters is around 50. We were almost 20 to 25 people. Half of the people at the headquarters was training with me. And we started to create these groups, groups of two, groups of three. And all of a sudden, this culture is starting to happen and this movement inside of the company where they would all reach out to me like, Eryck, I want to train. And some of them were training 5 days a week with me. And they saw a huge shift in productivity. They saw a huge shift in their health. They were getting less sick paid days, so they were just healthier all the time, amazing productivity, and the team building was incredible. So imagine having a company where you have like 4 or 5 different stories, like story number one, you have marketing, second you have the HR, third you have operation, and finally you have executive. Well, everyone was mixing and matching in a gym clothes, so no like power suit or uniforms. Everyone was like just wearing all the same gym clothes. I felt like everyone was on the same level in a way. It wasn't like you're my boss, you're my this. No, we're all training. And I'm telling you, the memories that happened in that gym, we also started to go outside. So using the outdoor park. And it was such a creative process for me to create all these different programs. Remember every single people's injury, needs, goals, restrictions. And then finally, building another layer onto that and adding a smoothie bar, nutrition bar, and workshops and newsletter and after 6 months, I'm telling you, everyone was just part of it. It was such a beautiful movement. And I trained people from the age of 20 to 60 with all these different backgrounds. And that gave me so much confidence and gave me a lot of repetition. I was training I was coaching from like 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. almost every single day. And in between, I started my own coaching practice for what with my private clients. So they would also come to the gym in between that. So I was fully booked. It was really good financially as well. I started to like build that confidence through the reps, but also financially through getting all these clients. My rate went up from like 60 to 80 to $100 per class. And yeah, I was rolling, and all of that started with that client at the park at $60 with no experience. And all of a sudden I'm training this company and building this culture, which I had no idea that you could even be a personal trainer in a corporate company. So that happened for about a year and a half. COVID happened. Everything had to shut down at that company. Everyone was remote. We did an online session, but eventually I got laid out because they just wanted to refocus, and I totally get that. So now I'm like, okay, I'm in Montreal. What do I do? What happens? So I kept on um, I kept on having my personal clients. I reshifted also a lot online. So during the COVID era, uh, a lot of like a lot of everything shifted online and being started to be digital. So I started to coach people now all over the world, and that was very interesting. Like I would have like a morning with six back-to-back clients, and my first client was in Morocco, second client was in Egypt, third client was in London, fourth client was in Los Angeles, third client in Montreal. Like it was just all over the place, all these different time zones. But now I was learning how to be an online coach. That was great. And I was like, okay, it's kind of like frontierless, like just limitless. I can start training everyone. And I really started to shift back and forth with online, with in person. And eventually I felt plateaued in terms of education, in terms of what I knew in coaching. And it actually took me, I would say, almost 2.5 years, or yeah, 2.5 years, 3 years before even getting my certification as a personal trainer. Yes, I was getting a lot of external, like reading books and YouTube videos and that, but there's nothing like a good certification. And I'll tell you why. If you're a coach just starting, especially if you go through a solid, that is worldwide renowned agency that certifies personal trainers or nutrition coach or etc., you will learn so much. You will learn the root, the why, the structure, how to create plan, how to create results, goal using the smart way, muscle imbalances, the nervous system, the anatomy. I mean, the energy system. You just start learning a lot more versus like on the surface level, and that's when it really got me excited to educate myself even more. And that was for me all about empowerment. So if we go to the education side, I started to get, so I got my certification as a personal trainer finally with NASM, National Academy of Sport Medicine, which is recognized with, I think, over 100 countries around the world, probably one of the top up there. I did it in English. Second certification was nutrition coach, specialized nutrition coach with NASM as well, National Academy of Sport Medicine. So I learned so much about nutrition. Their classes, their courses is very, very deep and knowledgeable. So it took a lot of time. Yeah, it was a lot of knowledge, but I just took my time and went through it all. I do revisit a lot of it nowadays. My third certification was as a yoga teacher, as a 200 vinyasa yoga teacher. I did that online while I was based in Nicaragua when I was starting my yoga journey. And eventually, once I was like, okay, yoga, fitness, nutrition, I felt like the next calling, next step, would be to train people with their overall health, optimal well-being, and life coaching. I was really ready to step into that role, especially when I became a father. It felt like, okay, as a father now, how can I be in service with everything that I know with health, wellness, fitness, nutrition, and really have a holistic approach? Now I was also starting to build the businesses, and I felt ready because the life coaching title, I think it's still quite a gray area, taboo. There's great life coaches, bad life coaches, just like any coach. But I felt ready to own that title, and also not the title, but own that responsibility towards my clients, because it just became natural. Like as I was coaching them with the fitness, eventually we would start talking about habits, we'd start talking about finance, we'd start talking about relationship, relationship at work. And a lot of my clients, if you talk with them, I know that I definitely was able to guide them not just with their fitness journey, but just their overall health and well-being, and building them confidence and getting that promotion and dating that person, or going beyond the fitness aspect of health and wellness. So that's when I started to that's when I got certified. It took about 6 to 7 months with ICF, which is International Coaching Federation, probably one of the best coaching agencies out there, as a certified health coach and a certified life coach. So now I'm feeling quite well equipped, and I'm always learning for what's next, but I'm feeling quite well equipped with the tools that I have. to start coaching people in just really like the whole 360 aspect. Eventually, when I moved to Tulum, the next layer was more in the spirituality. So I was now the wellness director in a health and wellness hotel. So it went from training one people to group training to corporate. And eventually I started to rebuild International Souls, and we started to coach in hotels and luxury hotels around the world. So I never thought I would become a coach in hotels or building even a health and wellness team, but that's where the coaching aspect led. And for about over a year, we started to create these small retreats in hotels, and we also build a health and wellness department from scratch, building the teams and starting to coach, but also teach, for example, breath work, meditation, guided meditation, and ice bath. So all these different ways that you can, like, just biohacking and different ways that you can really enhance and add on to your wellness practices. The ice bath was extremely powerful. Just picture 3-4 degree water and staying in there for 1 to 3 to 5 minutes, and everything was all about the breath, slowing down the breath and connecting with that breath. That was extremely powerful tool to studying Wim Hof breath work and how to regulate your nervous system through breath work, to meditation. I meditate every single day for the past 5 years, and it's a very powerful technique as well to clear the mind, be extremely present, again, connect with your breathing, and give you mental clarity to start the day. I love it. For me, I meditate every single morning. It's a practice, it's a ritual, it's non-negotiable. Can be 1 minute, can be 5, can be 20. I'm just open to receive whatever is available that day, and it just started off the day really well. And afterwards, the hotels, we're actually now building community, and we're going to be hosting our own retreat, the Fit Souls retreat. So you see how one action many years ago, almost like 8-9 years ago, and today I would never imagine hosting my own health and wellness retreat and creating that space. And those retreats are going to be all about the 360 experience wellness immersion, from eating amazing, savory, delicious, healthy food to practicing yoga, practicing fitness, meditation, breath work. We're also going to be doing ecstatic dances, so journaling. So really adding all these different spheres that I've learned throughout the years, and now packaging in one incredible weekend, and eventually it's going to be week-long international retreats. So guys, this is part of my journey as a coach. This is how I started. This is all the highs, all the lows. It was an incredible journey, and it's just getting started. I feel like now more than ever, I'm really connected with my coaching purpose, and also the vision is very clear of what's coming next. And if you asked me 9 years ago if I had any visual of all of this happening through one client to just starting, I would say absolutely no. But now, just being in action, keep your heart open, be ready for invitations, and I'm telling you, it can just open up so many doors. So it's very, very powerful. Any coaching out there having the imposter syndrome and like, who am I to start coaching? Just know, what value can you bring to someone else's life? What's your special sauce? What's your special powers? Because you do have it. But tap into that. Just start. There's no such thing as being perfect. You don't need to have a website or an app or this. Just start. Just start owning and build that confidence that you are a coach. Just like actually say out loud, I am a coach. I'm a fitness trainer. I'm a yoga teacher. Like, just say out loud, own it, and put that energy out there. I promise you, it's going to come back, and you'll start having invitation, and people will start wanting to work with you. So guys, this was a solo session about my journey as a coach. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please subscribe. If you did, subscribe, like, and share. It goes a long way for our show, for our production here. And until next time, thank you. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to follow the show and leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. It really helps us to grow and keep the conversation going. Thanks for listening.